Okay, what did Epic Gaze add in this update? Hmm. Oh, shockwaves are vaulted? Hell yeah! I'll probably still be late to talking about this somehow. Listen, I gotta be honest. I never really liked shockwaves. They are a very simple item that is really easy to use, and like a lot of things I don't like, they are fun to use but not fun to fight against. Actually, it's mainly annoying to deal with someone using them. Shockwaves are kinda unbalanced in my opinion. They don't really have any significant downsides at all. I'm trying to think of a downside to them, but I can't, like, at all. Maybe you can shockwave your teammates into the storm by mistake. Yeah, that's good enough, throw it in the loot pool. And no, the fact that they can run out isn't a downside. Most mobility items run out at some point. Now, before you call me bad at the game, which I kinda am, let me ask you a few questions. Do you think that an item that can destroy practically any build in an instant is balanced? Yeah, because obliterating everything around you with a press of a single button sounds like a very well designed item that won't become annoying. It will. It will become annoying. Shockwaves are just too good of a mobility item. They not only allow you to close the gap between you and your enemies, but also give you the option to run away from fights without any consequences. You know how annoying it is to deal with runners? I understand running away after getting third-partied or when you are low on HP, that's reasonable, makes sense, common knowledge even. But if you run after getting hit for 18 damage to your 0 build overshield while having a full-ass mythic loadout, what are you doing? Why won't you fight? Are you afraid of bullets or something? At this point, what are you doing playing Fortnite? Go play Hello Kitty Island Adventure! Actually, that game is harder than Fortnite, trust me. Now, before you argue that Fortnite is a game about survival, let me ask you this. What's fun in avoiding combat? In a combat-based game? Sure, maybe getting the victory royale is the fun part for some, but for me, avoiding combat, hiding from people in bushes, running away from every gunshot directed at me doesn't sound like the most fun activity. Now I realize this might be more of an issue with how people use shockwaves. Honestly, let's just vote the players, that will solve everything. But for real, there's a reason why people often use shockwaves to run away. The design of them kind of encourages that. The ability to destroy builds being an instant use item and sending you decently far away while negating fall damage. It's hard to fully blame the players for this, as the item itself, in a way, encourages said behavior. I repeated myself, god damn it.
I don't play Fortnite!
Butters, you said you're on your computer all the time.
Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
You like that transition? Yeah, me neither. Another issue with shockwaves is that they often overshadow other mobility items that are in the loot pool. For example, the kinetic blade reskin they added this season felt like a well-balanced and fun-to-use mobility item. It's gone now, thanks South Park! But after a few games of the new season, I didn't really carry it for too long. I just always replaced it with shockwaves. Why? Well, the blade had cons to it, like the wind-up animation, but shockwaves? Hardly any cons to them. They are just too good of a mobility item. Well, actually, they are the mobility item. And it kind of sucks. I just wish there was a more balanced alternative to shockwaves. It's not like Epic has plenty more mobility items already in game that could be easily added to the loot pool. Oh wait, there's already a replacement for shockwaves in rotation. Meet the Crashpad Jr. Or as I like to call this item, shockwaves but actually balanced. I know impulses exist, but they suck, they're not good, I don't like them, and screw them. Anyway, Crashpad Jr. is what a good and balanced mobility item looks like. Crashpads, just like shockwaves, allow you to quickly rotate around the map, but this time, instead of being an instant one-use item, they act more like a multi-use item, because once you throw one, you aren't the only player who can use it. This can have a positive effect of helping your entire team rotate, or a negative one, allowing someone to chase you, unless you are smart enough to shoot at the crash pad when using it. On top of that, these cannot destroy builds, meaning that it's harder to escape from a bad situation, because you need to figure out the correct moment to use a crash pad. Another good alternative to Shockwaves is the Grappler. It's probably the simplest mobility item out there. You point it in a specific direction, then shoot it, and you get pulled towards the spot which you were aiming at. There's a decent amount of drawbacks when using a Grappler. First, there's a bigger limitation on the range you can travel with it. Unlike Shockwaves that allow you to go flying across half of the map, the Grappler has a set range limit. Secondly, the speed at which you travel is not overwhelmingly fast. God, that sucked. This might just be a me thing, but I feel like Shockwaves compared to other mobility just give too much speed. This is not that big of an issue, I think, but I still feel like it's important to bring that up. Also, I know that using some tomfoolery you can get insane speeds with the Grappler too, but that requires more than a press of a single button. Anyway, there are a lot more mobility items that could easily replace Shockwaves in some way. Just to name a few like Rift to Go, Grapple Glove, Flowberry Fist, Slap Splashes, and even the Rocket Ram. All of these have significant pros and cons. Plus, some of these might shine more when there's multiple mobility items in rotation. For example, combining the Flowberry Fist with previously mentioned Crash Pad Jr. Combining these two items gives you the ability to rotate long distances, but that creates a question you have to ask yourself when playing the game. Do you want to sacrifice 2 item slots for both of these, or maybe you can split them between you and your teammate? By saying this, I want to state that I don't think that less mobility is better. I'm saying that it's good to have options, it's just that one option shouldn't be better than the other one. Each of them should have their own pros and cons. Unlike Shockwaves. Before I forget, there is one thing I like about Shockwaves, because besides being able to use them for mobility, you can use them as an offensive item. Instead of using them on yourself, why not use some on an enemy? Shockwaves are a surprisingly really good tool for getting your opponent out of cover. This can prove very useful, especially in the late game, when the zone gets small. If your opponent is hiding behind something like a tree or a rock or anything that can be used as cover, you can try throwing a shockwave near them to force them out of that position, and potentially send them into the zone. I feel like I need to mention this one thing before I end this video. While I don't like shockwaves being in the main Battle Royale mode, I don't mind them in other modes like Reload or Blitz. If I had to be honest, those modes feel like the perfect place for them. Reload and Blitz are both modes meant for quick, action-packed gameplay, and because shockwaves are this fast-paced mobility item, it makes them fit just right in. And that's everything, I think, probably. I suck at ending videos and you know that. Okay, now I gotta call that guy. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that.